plus there's that standing water on the exit.
Checker flag is out at top. Oh, spin for the 912 of Earl Bamber. He was on a good lap as well. He'd be annoyed with himself about that. Does a flick turn. And Tom Milner's not going to improve this lap. He's done a relative to Earl Bamber. Then the 24 BMW locking up and going off. Mistake then by John Edwards, and he's hit the wall at 4.
Well, he's hit the
Not taking any chances with the grass in the front of the car. Just came down too quickly. It was the 92. It was the 92 Mercedes-Benz that I think just caught him out.
Maybe he just left. He's sticking out.
The leader's gone wide. Almost falls off. Does fall off. The 19 car's gone off as well. Baylock's gone off as well in the 19 car.
Alan Brynjolfsson turns around in the Volt Racing Ford Mustang.
Everybody's going off at
is also in. They are going to full wets, as is the Volt Racing Mustang, the car that won the last time out, the number 7. Both of the core motorsport cars are in. They are both going to slicks, as is the Stephen Cameron duo of BMWs. But John, I'm hearing that there are some significant penalties that are about to be handed out.
Well, certainly one. The Eurosport number 12 Audi, Tom O'Gorman in the pit for wet weather tyres. He's been given a penalty for leaving a gap at the start. Now, I thought that was a reasonably sensible thing to stay away from the back of the GS field, but he's been penalised for it.
The drivers are told they're not supposed to leave that gap, and he left. I think if you leave a little bit of a gap, it's a smart move, but he left too much there. I think that's Kieran. No, that's Tom O'Gorman is off the road into the tyres. He's just served his drive-through penalty, and he's now put it off the road at what's that, turn 4. So
correct. So he did. I see. He just drove through to do his drive-through. He hasn't put new tyres on that car. Let's have a look as he comes out and see if there's any damage. There is. There's damage.
There's damage. Oops.
On and following him straight off. That is another one of the Audi TCRs, and that must have been. That is Kieran O'Rourke. I think that is Kieran O'Rourke who's followed him off
in the
teammate,
10 car. If that's the case. Whoops, as Nick Galante almost slithers off the road. This is DJ Fitzpatrick. He's second in TCR, 12th place overall. Britt Casey Jr., though, he's one of the quickest cars on the track.
Tangerine 56, Murillo Racing. Jeff Mosing's gone off at the pits yet. He's on slicks. So at the front of the GS field, let me run you down the tyres, because this is going to become very important. Still an hour and 42 minutes to go. Tyler McQuarrie by 2 seconds in the 39 dark grey Audi leads on slick Continental tyres. His last lap was 2 minutes 18.
Oh no,
and he's
off.
And he's off. He was 2 minute 18 was his last lap against 2:21 and worse from everyone else. He's damaged.
However,
he's damaged the car.
For the cars that have been in the pits, Paul Holton in the car number 76, the McLaren, he turned at 2 minutes 15 on that last lap, as did Nate Stacey in the car number 60. That's
with now quite noticeable shadows. Off goes the BMW number 72, and it's a long way off on the wet grass. The green and black machine.
That's Mike Vess, who was running in 7th position.
It was able to get them back out in good standing.
Thank you, Shea. Well, we're used to having the last half an hour of 40 minutes. Off goes the 60 outside of turn 1. He lost that a long way beforehand, but the tyre barrier did its job. The turn, Jeremy, and I think he just fell off the track on driver's left.
Let's see. Eric Foster had been closing right up on him. Yes, he made a mistake. Just ran too wide on the exit of Oak Tree. Did Jason Hart spun that car around right across?
Great way to finish. The team are
but a lot of pressure going behind. Let's have a look at see what happened there. Charles Chi and number 60 car Bruce Hamilton getting together there. Bruce Hamilton is one of the they're both Masters contenders. Certainly a challenge for these drivers. Various incidents there on the first lap. Leo Lamellis there in car number 7 just locking up and just carrying too much speed at the top of the roller coaster. Around he goes, and he's one of the guys who's looking to try and get him some
machine. Let's see if we get a replay as he comes over the top of the hill and nope, doesn't quite make it. Or is that at a different point of the track? Because I'm hearing wheels spinning from behind us as well for poor Austin McCusker. As who was that going for a spin? Charles. That was Chris Wright who had to check up, and then Austin McCusker in response. There's still 3 seconds between the two of them as Howard Jacobs goes for a spin at the final turn. Doesn't hit anything though. That's a good thing about Virginia International Raceway. You can go off the track If you do, you're going to collect a lot of grass, and you don't want to get too much of that because it would clog up your radiator. Charles Chi off again, and Michael Klemecki off again. It's getting very tricky out there, Jeremy. Pit window is not yet open, though.
No, that's right, and the gap
and
between
Howard
7
Jacobs.
and 88.
Howard Jacobs going for a spin there a bit earlier on. While Hanratty manages to pull the car back on the course.
And he's just come out of the pits.
And Rob Holtz, who goes off course as well. Zachary Robichon. Leo Lamelis is in third in the number 7. And Jim Garrett just looping it, coming through turn 3, carrying a little bit too much speed.
And Kyle Masson also gives up the struggle. He comes onto pit lane in car number 11, the NPC class leader. That'll leave Dave House, I think, out in the front in the category, the 75. You're for One Motorsports in car number 86.
Oh, nope, no, he's not,
No,
because
not.
he's off in the grass,
No,
and
no.
he's trying.
Super slippery. And these wet tyres won't have been used before either, because we haven't had any wet weather running, I don't think, at all this season, have we?
No, we haven't. We had. Where was that? That was last year at to build the heat into the tires. And oh, Dave House, he's gotten so close. He's almost high-sided it. Now he backs up a little bit as Michael Klemecki goes for a spin again. That's his 3rd or 4th. Klemecki's still on slicks, and he too is having trouble getting it back to the
I'm not
racetrack.
sure I've spun yet. Might be quicker.
Who
Whoa,
hasn't
yikes,
spun
that's
yet?
Scary.
Yes, see, but even the D over some people's heads is now just sitting completely unilluminated. It will not turn on. As Dave House has spun, ooh, he spun right in front of 2 of the LMP3 cars. Now, who is
5th position overall. He's a lap behind the leaders, but he is charging along in the 5th position.
Howard Jacobs hit a puddle and spun at the apex of turn 4. He wound up off the track, driver's right, and Chris Wright comes in, sees the 77, stops, doesn't even attempt to make the turn in case he loses the battle when the yellow flag waves, and they missed out, so they were therefore disqualified, even though they crossed the line first. I'm still seeing the 11 of Kyle Masson out on track, and we are at 49 minutes to go.
Just pedantic. They weren't disqualified. They were just put to the back of the pack. So if you disqualify, you don't get any points at all. They just got
in the number 34 is the leader, and on and out lap is Dr. Robert Masson as the 28 of
He's still on the lead lap with Chris Wright and about 35 seconds behind him.
Michael Klemecki going into turn 1, ran off driver's left, and then just spun it. He's at the same place where we saw the number 60 of Bruce Hamilton go off early on. He gets back pointed in the right direction, and John Brownson's off the course from the NPC lead, and he is trying to get the car back uphill a little bit to get back on course. Can he do it, though? He's got a lot of traffic coming through. There's Paul LaHaye in the number 34 NPC.
Type challenge later in the year at Pit Seat Le Mans. From everyone here, bye-bye for now.
That's
LMP3
right,
cars.
Because there's a whole bunch of, the top 13 cars, they're on 4 different laps. There's another spin. That's
Bart Wolff at turn 1.
oh, that's not good for his championship.